Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Elucid, and I'm joined once again by Darkside Cookies
Hello, hello.
and Demosthenes.
Howdy, folks.
We're experimenting this episode with new recording technology, and if it doesn't work, then I'm sorry, but you'll probably be forced to listen to it anyways. But yeah, so this is turn 52, and it's a pretty interesting time. You've basically conquered most of the asphodel armies. I think that war is going to be downhill from now because unless they have some sort of reversal, just because they don't have, I don't think they can put together a doom stack like the one you killed very easily.
I think
Though of
they
course they can
have.
with attrition.
Yeah, I think we'll see that they still have an enormous amount of carrion chaff and production of carrion chaff, and you can see that they have a new prophet. And I think we alluded to this
Mm-hmm.
last time, but it is an ancient presence. So, he has sort of what was meant to be part of sort of his next era army. He's been making level 9 summons and turning them into commanders, and at least turning one into a commander, which gets the
I'm
magic
really
pass.
excited to see this.
Yeah. So
This
I
is
feel
going to be
I feel
very
very
cool to see.
lucky. I feel very lucky that we've fought our big engagements before these things, or that big battle before this sort of level 9 tech showed up, because I don't. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They don't have
Um,
Enchanted Forest yet, do they?
no, this is the only level 9
Or not?
tech
No,
that we've
what's
seen.
Awaken.
Awaken
Yeah.
Forest.
Awake? It's Alt 9. Okay. This is the crazy asphodel tech, though, really.
Yeah.
Like once they get this, it's just raiding them becomes a nightmare.
An army of
Yeah.
rats right
I
above
think.
it too.
Yeah, Army of Rats I think is actually
Yeah.
like, I fear more that it's
It's a hard
hard
MR check.
it's
Yeah.
hard MR to add a permanent -5 morale to your dudes. Like the size stuff doesn't really matter that
Yeah.
much, but the -5 morale really hurts. It means you basically always lose to Welling Winds plays, and you can penetration boost it, so it's basically impossible to not get all your troops tagged. But yeah, we wanna finish them off before they can do nasty things to us like that any more than they already will be able to. Um, we should check
Yeah.
the 2 globals that went up. This turn has no major battles, so we can look around at the sort of layout of things. But the first one I think
Okay, so
is,
who is this? This would be Asphodel doing Mother Oak, right?
yep, they have it back again. It's
Yeah.
like their 4th or 5th Mother Oak cast this game. And they put it at their
Uh,
throne, so that sort of gives a sense that they're thinking that that will be their final stand. And then
right.
that's Nidavangar putting up Eternal Pyre, and it's actually important.
Right.
So we had Eternal Pyre up with Naba a few turns ago, and that got taken down by two turns back by Well of Misery when Ulm put that up.
Mm-hmm.
And then because we dispelled Gift of Health, there was an open slot, and I guess then a second open slot maybe from Mother Oak going down. Anyway, so I think those both new ones were into empty slots.
So it's looking to me like you guys are now in position 1. Nidavangar is probably, especially because all the globals they have, is probably position 2, but maybe they're position 1. I don't think so, but maybe there's an argument for it. And then I think everybody else is kind of mucking around in like balkanized state small form, but maybe I'm
Yeah.
misreading that.
Yeah, my evaluation at this point is that we are in a strong position 1. Ulm and Nidavangar are sort of about tied for seconds, and Naba is quite a ways behind of the sort of, and then Asphodel is sort of a remnant state. Like they don't, they've sort of maybe lost. I don't know. I feel like they could
They've lost their
recover if we
capital.
got.
Yeah.
They've lost their capital, but like if we were like very distracted, needed to send all our armies somewhere else, like
Yeah.
they've got siege chaff, they've got
If
a lot of
everybody
mages,
ended their nap with you, they
Yeah,
could be back in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They,
But yeah.
Yeah, and you can see that what we sort of did strategically this turn is I think, cracked all 3 of their cap circle forts,
Mm-hmm.
prepared to take them, and then raided Silverham, the next fort over. And I think that's actually a fun raid to watch, so we might as well do that. But the sort of strategy here is to sort of be certain that we can storm all 3 of those forts without their main armies being able to get there. That's kind of what we're trying to
Mm-hmm.
do.
So you're doing some group bark skin. Howl goes up. One thing I'm not sure about is how the audio is going to work during the video. I think I can fix it if it's too the game audio is too loud. Since we're using a separate thing, that's going to be a concern. Yeah, your guys are pretty good with bark skin on them. Where's this? He has a mage back here somewhere, right?
Yeah, Howl.
Oh, he put up Howl, and so now he's passed out. So he's animated some of these big trees. This is going to take a while for him to kill. Now, if they haven't routed yet, there's a lot of Howl. Right, I mean, Howl can continue inflicting attrition. I think if he didn't do advance and cast, he might have won. Because really, your guys were quagmired there, and then he kind of like walked into melee range.
Yeah, and if you watch the back, it's actually like really close. The sort of survival of our mages who are leading the party. There's like a lot of wolves mobbing them.
Oh my god. Oh, it's not something you really think about. You think of this as like a second form where you get more HP, but it's also more killy. They've got a pretty solid bite attack. So it's really like tigers fighting wolves here.
Panthers, maybe?
The Panthers? Great black cat? Jaguar, maybe? It's got stripes, though. I don't think jaguars have stripes. Oh, no, they did die here.
Oh, yeah. That's replay.
Okay. That was kind of cool. So tell me what your thoughts are on storming these. You popped all these forts. Are you just going to storm with what you have?
Yeah, I sort of brought to each one, as you can kind of see, like a Suitin Doji who's going to be pretty strong, and then a Bakemono sorcerer doing buffs on whatever siege tap, which are usually draconians because that's what flies, to be able to take an empty fort without much risk. And he's been pretty, like, the forts we've stormed have been empty, so I think he's trying to not waste resources or whatever. And so having steel slice where it's going to be very hard
How
to
work?
plug.
Do you know how works inside a fort attack? Because I know if you're sieging the fort, like if you're the one attacking and you cast Howl, they only spawn outside the fort. Is that also the case if you're defending?
I think it's symmetric. I haven't checked, but that would probably be the easiest thing to implement. So I assume that's what they did. But that is a good question.
I think they only come from outside the fort in both cases. Okay. It's been a while since
sort of makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so they've raided this throne back. They're doing a decent job to put up some raiding pressure. They're doing a lot of low pressure raiding. So tell me the story with Nabah here too. So remind me what happened. Did they have a big victory or did they have a loss? I can't remember what happened in the most recent bit with Nabah and Asphodel.
Yeah, Nabah just, has laboriously been sieging down that fort, and I think they just took it this turn. So they have now reclaimed their original borders with Asphodel, I guess.
Oh, that's what this was. Okay.
And they continue to be at war with Asphodel. I think, that there's, as you can see, raiding right now, but I think there's very intense raiding across that. There's sort of like, I feel like the Nabah, I think they're right about the point where they're hoping to take Marignon. So they had us move off Marignon, so they are now controlling the siege. And our army is there.
Hoping
going down
to
into
take
the cave.
Emphasis on hoping.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think our army is going into the cave. So if you click into the cave under that forest there, you can see where we're headed. And we, in fact, so Nidavanger, that underground fort you see there, they just stormed this turn.
Okay. So you're helping to kind of put the final, to help Pyrene into their coffin, I guess. Put the final
exactly. I would say that I'm getting my responding to Nidavanger's train of asphodels thrown in their sort of northwest
Mm-hmm.
in asphodel northwest by vulturing this Pyrene territory. So, and interestingly,
There's.
like Pyrene hadn't taken the underground lakes there, so I guess maybe they never got water magic to lead somebody, or maybe they just were under pressure too long. But yeah, there's
Mm-hmm.
like a bunch of free gold down there. 3 provinces that could have been 3 of those lakes are still independent. So we're gonna go grab them with a
Yeah.
thug.
Okay. So let's talk about research again, real quick. We haven't looked at that in a while. So you got
Hmm.
what's the target for Conjuration 7?
So I believe
Do you remember?
uh, I was like working towards. I don't think actually there's anything at 7. I was thinking about going
Ivy
up to
King,
Conjuration
Mound
8.
Fiend. Okay.
No, I think it was the 8th. Like thinking about either the Elemental Royalty or I certainly had Well of Misery
Mm.
in mind. But now that Ulm has that up, I don't. I don't know. I'm still thinking about overcasting that, but right now, good relations with Ulm as a priority. And then our blood economy is
Yeah.
at the point where we can get vampire lords if we had the research. So we're sort of thinking we'll do that with the big sort of target being just to have one guy per army to do rush of strength and get 4th strength on all of our dudes.
I think you might have been thinking some of
Well,
the
you know,
living
vampires
elemental
moved to
stuff.
Blood 8. Are you familiar with that change?
Yeah.
Okay, you just had it queued up to 7, I guess. You could do whatever you want
Yeah, I
after
think
that, but
I think there's I'm just
okay.
checking the research every turn at this point. Or maybe I might have been thinking about getting Father Illerth actually now that I think about it. I think that might have been the thing at 7 that I was gonna maybe stop for before
Hmm.
doing some other thing. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean roughly like the way that strategically we're thinking about things is that we're already, in my opinion, in a cold war with Nidavangar. Like we still have a nap. Neither of us
Right.
is directly fighting each other, but we, I think, are both expecting that our next war is going to be with each other. I didn't ask him, but it's just very
Right.
clear from the sort of very elbowy vulturing happening by both parties, and he's got all the globals, and I'm the biggest and
Right.
strongest. That we're very likely to end up.
Right.
Um, Ulm is still occupied with finishing off Pyrene and is pretty annoyed with Nidavangar. So that's sort of a relationship that we're actually trying to ask Ulm to vulture that sort of Machaca area of asphodel, just so that they can get the income from it and sort of be a little bit
Mm.
closer in size. And I think they end up
Yeah.
not really feeling like they want to do that for whatever reason. Maybe because they want to let
Well, I
asphodel,
think I
fight
can
his
tell
own
you the
defense.
reason.
Yeah.
No. I think the reason is they've taken so much attrition fighting Pyrene. If they hadn't lost all those troops, they'd be over here sieging stuff, but they probably don't have a spare. Like if you fight Asphodel, you need to have kitted yourself to be ready for foul vapors and rigor mortis's home, which is annoying, but you can do it. And so it's a major commitment, not a minor one, I guess is what I'm saying. And then you need to siege through these forts. So you need also at least
Yeah.
like 200 troops. So I don't think they have that. I mean, maybe they do, but
I mean, I will note that Ulm Ulm has pretty good skills and like a lot of citadels and so on. Like I think that they have, and they purchased from beneath. I think they have 20% more gold income than us, or something like that. Like they're not a poor nation right now. So while I don't know, I'm sure that they could have those troops. I don't. Maybe they've only been making mages, but
I mean,
I think
I
it's
think when you think about the troop requirement, you need some troops because this is the other thing. When you play a really slow nation like Ulm, you can't like really mobilize these troops over here and go fight a war over here, right? Because
yeah,
by the time you move them over here, they're basically forever dead from this front.
yeah,
So as Ulm, you need to keep. There's like a tax basically for being a slow nation where you need to keep some armies near all your borders. So I'm sure they have troops, but I don't think they have enough troops to like levy 200 for a main army and then probably another 100 for small armies. I
yeah.
mean, I
Maybe
don't
that's
know,
right. It's
but
just the like they could have an army there, but anything that they were sort of holding there has gone as reinforcements for the Pyrene front because they've lost a bunch of stuff over there
yeah,
in recent turns. So yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. I think it is worth looking at the army that they marched forward with this turn towards the Pyrene capital.
Mm. Mm. It's a cool guy.
It's definitely depleted.
Yeah. I mean, this is not the kind of doom stack where I think, oh god, there's nothing that could be done. But I also don't know how much Pyrene has left. But presumably this army is going to be going on top of Pyrene this turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, these storm demons can probably fly back. He can do a PD dump. He can use his mages and do summon air elementals. I think that would kill this army. Like if you summon 20 air elementals or 15 air elementals and you do a PD dump with the storm demons behind them, I think you probably beat this. I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
don't know. I think
yeah,
Iron Blizzard
that's spooky
really
to me.
ruins elementals, so I wouldn't count on that to work.
Mm, that
Anyway,
is
I think
true. I didn't think about
that's sort
that.
of what I had for this turn. We want to keep moving.
We did Gift of Reason or Carrion Lord,
Oh yeah,
so we can look
Oh,
at
yeah.
it.
I
Let's
think we
go check
mentioned the
that guy
intent
out.
for that.
Wait, which guy?
It's Acheron, the guy at the bottom. Now
Carrion Lord. For some reason, I was thinking Tartarian. Okay. Wait,
yeah,
why did you have to Gift of Reason him?
because we stole him with an enslaved mind, or probably control the dead. Actually,
Oh, that's right. You're not Asphodel. I'm sorry. I'm very slow today. It's been a long day for me. Why did you? Yes, because he was a unit. Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next turn, though. That's pretty cool. Okay. So we've got the next turn, turn 53. And what all is happening? We've got some Mind Hunt being cast. Lightless Lanterns coming in from Pyrene. They're trading with you while you're raiding them this turn, right?
yeah, I think he sold me those for 700 gold. So effectively, I'm paying the upkeep for his remaining units, so that he can, and he's sending me lanterns and hammers in exchange. Is sort of our arrangement.
So Ulm did not go into Pyrene's capital. That's a little sad. I guess his army's still sitting here, and he built a temple. He would have died if he went here. This definitely would have killed it.
Yeah, I think he needed to wait for reinforcements, probably.
Yeah, I think Ulm is a little too focused on like picking off. I think picking off players that's a bad matchup for you in the late game, like that's something you want to do, but it's like it's more important to pick wars that you win somewhat economically. Now, I don't think the war against Asphodel you guys picked is something I would have said ahead of time as a war you would win economically, like cheaply. But I think they were running away with the game, and you probably had to face into them. So navigating those decisions is super important.
Yeah.
Are any of these going to be fun to watch?
Not really. I mean, you can watch them just for sort of a vibe of them. There's 4 Fort Stormy battles this time, so we can.
I kind of would have expected more Manead chaff inside them. Oh god, Minotaurs in the gates. That's pretty sick. I didn't realize Asphodel gets that.
Yeah, I like that party for defense that they get. Centaurs are also really good archers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's basically over. Okay, so you've stormed this one, taken it. Stormed this one, taken it. Stormed this one, taken it. There's no mages. I don't think it's necessarily going to be worth watching if there's no mages.
Nope.
Oh, this looks interesting.
Yeah, that was the one I liked.
Okay, so let's take a look at your guy. Oh, naked but twice born. Cool. Fire shield and summon earth power. Is he going to do Phoenix Pyre? Invincibility, which is interesting because this works against the mundane claw attack, but not against the sleep vines. Blessing. Phoenix Pyre. All right. I think if you're planning on having him die from Phoenix Pyre, you do attack instead of advance and cast.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is the ideal script for what he's doing. I think Iron Skin would have been better too, because it would weaken the sleep vines. Or Iron Will.
Yeah.
But the goal was
How
to
did
get him
this guy
killed by
die?
his
Because I think he
disease.
died in the battle report.
Yeah,
Huh?
he got profuse bleeding from one of the mannequin attacks, and so he killed them all and then died in
Okay.
battle cleanup. So for us, this is perfect because he killed their party
Twice
and
born.
then got to do the twice born thing all in one fell sweep.
Nice. Let's see how he's doing here. He's got. Oh, he got rid of all of his afflictions. Damn. That's pretty sick. He had
I
2 in
think
that
it's
battle we were watching.
I think it's because there's a necromancer in that province. So you remember a while ago we got necromancer sites up in our northeast, and I don't know, we produced some number of them and walked them over to sort of support our white mages. So yeah, you can see 1 battle affliction for cured in the message log. So that's actually one of
Oh,
the really fun things
here. Oh, they're an
about
asphodel. Okay. Yeah.
the indie necromancers is that they make doing thugging with white mages a lot easier.
Yeah.
Even first white
I
mages, because
don't
Oliver did their curse.
see any necromancers here. So I think that was actually from Twiceborn.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I'm going to turn the volume down here a bit too.
Yeah,
Okay.
go.
Okay. So, bunch of raiding. Was this all the forts?
I think there's a
Where's
fight
the 4th
on,
one?
I think
there's
it's a
one on
third.
Marignon.
Yeah, I think we should definitely watch that. Not from the message
This
log.
one? No.
I think Marignon, the Marignon
which
capital,
one?
is stormed by Naba at last, and we should watch it without spoiling the surprise.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
This is
Here we go.
what you've been waiting for.
We have Bahamut plus 2 lousy mages and some fire snakes. Versus, but with a healthy guard guarding the capital gates. Some camels. Ooh, some Jinn. Very cool. So basically a bunch of thugs. I wonder what they're going to do. Because I think they're going to jump back with the Jinn. Like, these guys could even be on guard commander and they jump to the back line. It's a little dangerous if they land here and the mages pepper them. But if they land on the mages, it will go well. I think this is like a very high-risk strategy, potentially. But anything you want to say before we just watch?
Yeah, let's check it out. It's yeah. So you didn't note how this went up.
Yeah, how? Oh, Rain of Stones. Who's doing that? This is here. Okay, so this is the play from Naba. Is they're saying we're gonna Rain of Stones you. And Marignon saying we're gonna Hal. So in some ways it's Hal versus Rain of Stones.
Yeah, it's like Rain of Stones plus some thugs to kill the pretender,
Right. And he's probably, I'm guessing, not going to go and attack rear because we're already at round 4. Oh, he might still. Okay, it's now round 7. So presumably they're on attack closest or something. Where are they? So these guys have probably been killed by Rain of Stones. Yeah. I don't know where these guys are.
Yeah, you could do team colored squares.
They're
Jan
still
are
all
really
back
hard
here.
to see without that. You're right. Yeah, they fatigued themselves out or something.
Oh, there's 2 up here in the front. And they're fighting fire elementals, which they have fire. They have a lot of fire resistance. Okay, they can probably manage that. Okay. Okay, one of them is engaged with Bahamut. Oh. Oh, does he have Undying Blood? Is that what that is? Or Enchanted Blood? So he's
I guess so.
slowly
But yeah,
regenerating up.
I think he just did a Hand of Death and wiped the thugs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is there somebody back here?
I think so.
This Bahamut's just destroying folks. And he's got Howl up. So these guys are getting plinked down by crossbows and wolves. I mean, eventually they're going to rout. There's no way they can win this.
Well,
Die, yeah.
Marignon
Wow.
already routed, so I don't think they can rout. I guess they seem to have run eventually, but...
Well, no, they would at the turn timer, I think they would.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the Bahamut's not going anywhere. Huh. Okay.
So it actually went a lot better in the real battle, and I think it's because they HP routed earlier, basically. Like the Nabaa side routed first.
And the one we watched, these guys had time to engage with the god, and therefore got deleted.
Yeah.
So, in the real version, it was a pretty clean play for Nabaa, where they just cleared out a bunch of chaff and mages. Like, the way it actually played out in the game was pretty nice. They're like, yeah, we saw what they were going to have exactly. We killed all their mages. It's just their god left, plus like a few fire snakes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I would
so
have
that's
expected
cool.
that playing Marignon. Like Rain of Stones, I need a body ethereal first.
Yeah,
So.
I don't think so. Yeah.
But I
mean,
think
body
that
ethereal,
play
twist
was...
fate, the other things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that play was meant to take the capital. Like, I think he did not. I think he was quite disappointed. And it was really the all by the that sort of prevented the rest of his plan from working by just like distracting his stuff from concentrating. Because if it had been all the Jin plus the thugs arriving at the Pretender, and then Hand of Death would probably just kill Jin while they chop him up. So I think that's
I mean,
what
I
went
think
wrong.
it's fair for them to be disappointed they didn't take it. However, the outcome they got was so much better than the one we just saw. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you compare this to having a bunch of kitted thugs dying, this is like a great trade. Like,
no,
great,
fantastic,
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Comparison.
fantastic. Okay, so unfortunately though, even losing this bit of chaff for Nabaa is a bit annoying, because they ideally want to siege through this fort too before Ulm or somebody else gets it.
Yep.
Okay, so over back to your front of the war, you've got a small army sneaking, attacking here, and because you've had scouts here, presumably you figure these guys aren't really patrolling. So you're hoping
so that's
AC
actually
can just
like
kind of snipe this.
Yeah, and actually you may notice that army that's attacking there is coming from having stealthed onto that fort where our sorcerer died. So we sort of
Right.
our thinking is that he shouldn't anticipate, like, he might patrol something, but he shouldn't anticipate that we've got like 100 guys that can reach there.
Right.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
our thought is, we'll move stuff to sort of besiege and crack that fort, and then we'll sort of bottle up his army if he's not thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, and just putting this under siege this turn, if you can do it, means you basically get this fort for free next turn. So
yes, exactly.
Doing some.
He is forcing a bit
This
of a
is interesting.
response.
There's a fair amount of centaurs here. Where do you think these guys are going?
I think that those guys were there to try and kill up. Like, he was hoping that we'd keep attacking forward and get to kill another one of our parties, or maybe Nabaa. You can see Nabaa has a bunch of stuff on that throne. I think we are magic facing a golem to put Doom onto that stack, because as far as I know, that is his largest remaining concentration of sacreds. And I feel like Doom is a little bit of a cheesy spell. Like, you don't even get an MR hard MR or something to negate it. But anyway, cursing all of those guys will just make it a lot easier to get rid of them later. So that's what we're doing there.
I mean,
It,
I've been doomed so many times by players, and those players I normally am like taking a spa day in their capital. So, it's like it doesn't often win you the war. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
a very low
mostly
impact spell.
it's
It
mostly really
mostly is like
annoying.
a little bit of a fuck you.
For me, it's mostly annoying that like all of your mages get it, so then you have, if you want to go and thug with them, they're cursed, and so they'll get a bunch of afflictions and so on. It's like I don't know, but yeah,
I
it's
mean,
fine.
you
It's a
can do
level
my
7
army,
spell.
let me take your capital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
That's how I think of it.
in terms of annoying level 7 spells, Wind of Death is far more annoying as as a thing for them to do to your army
Right.
than that.
I will say though that those centaurs are in a
Yeah.
spot where they can threaten to retake a cap circle province, and if they're able to do that, they can maybe
Mhm.
try to recall their god and retreat. So we were trying to
Yeah,
plan
that's
around
a
that a little
decent
bit
idea.
too.
Yeah. The one other thing I want to point out, if you look at the province just west of the asphodel capital, there's a cool site there. Yes, the Enchanted Glacier. So apparently they had a site that makes Yetis that they have not been using to make Yetis, which I was very
Mhm.
disappointed by because it's actually like I think that the Yeti is the type of unit that you really want to mix with asphodel chaff. Like their problem is that they fatigue things and swarm things, but don't have a way to kill things, and those guys hit hard, and that's kind of all you need
Well,
as a
they have cold
combination.
auras too, so they'll fatigue your own guys out. Oh wait, no,
No,
they
no,
get
no,
a.
no.
Do they get a bit of cold resistance? I forget.
Yeah, they got a bit of cold resistance. I think it's great synergy.
No, they got a bit. Okay. Yeah, that's a great synergy. Yeah. Yeah, they're a cool unit. They have sticks and stones, so they actually, if they hit you with it, it can be a lot of damage.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's really like the only
Um,
thing that I would fault in the play from those asphodel players. I feel like they're like had more magic diversity type tools they could have been taking advantage of potentially. Like we haven't really seen much of any water magic other than these ancient presences from them. Um, I don't know. They're still playing. Like they, if you look at Cloud Cup Spires, like they are clearly preparing a stand there, and yeah, I think it's super cool.
okay, let's keep moving then. Let's go to turn 54.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's take a look at what happens. No globals going up. A few battles here.
yeah. I think the
Nidavangar
Silverham
attacking
one.
Pyrene. Let's kind of watch this. We haven't seen much from Nidavangar in this series so far. And since they're probably going to be your chief opponent as the game goes forward. Okay, so really basic. It's just blessing these guys.
Yeah, with their monstrous bless. Now, does the
Fear,
mage?
Righteous Wrath, Blood Surge, Enchanted Blood. Okay.
Yeah, does the mage have any gems?
No. Quickness would
Yeah,
be really good on these guys.
yeah, exactly. But I guess if it's just one H1, maybe he didn't. But it was fighting like one PD, and so I assumed that it just didn't trigger gem use. Uh, that one is kind of fun.
Oh, this is interesting. So he's got some birds he's going to shape change into. Oh no, they're not shape changing. I think they got hit by arrows, and that caused them. I'm not sure. It said in the battle they shape changed. Maybe I read
Yeah, they
that
must
wrong.
have gotten hit by arrows
No, it
in
did.
the real fight.
Yeah. Hmm. That's cool. I mean, these guys are great skelly spammers. I mean, it's a 1,000 gold rating party. It looks cheap because you're like, oh, 2 crows, but no, it's 1,000
Yeah,
gold.
yeah. The value is the mobility to get to a place that you couldn't have gotten to with your other stuff, not
Right.
the sort of strength of it. And as we see,
Oh,
um,
and then you bump this same group with the perfect thing to kill it. Oh no, Ulm does.
yeah,
Oh, and Ulm is a little pissed with Nidavangar too.
yeah,
So like, oh,
and
we'll skelly spam, and Ulm's like, I've got Zots.
Do you know if
yeah.
this was planned or
I
no?
think those Zots were there to hit Storm Demons. I think that was an anti-storm demon party that happened to.
Oh my god! Where did this army from Ulm come from?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are. This is almost certainly carry-on reanimation,
Yep.
and then, and that's nice because it's a remote summon, so you can add things to your front. Though you require a lot of corpses. And then he's added a bunch to this army. We've got this cool Iron Angel that's got, oh no, Iron Face, really?
Yeah, Iron Face. I mean, maybe he got it from an event or something, but it adds almost nothing to that
Yeah.
chassis. So I was a little puzzled by that one.
Yeah. Well, and your Ulm, right? Like it's to do Iron Warriors is the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Golem,
But Shock Resistance Regeneration Ring. Those two items are very reasonable on that.
Yeah.
You might want to do something to make it more killy, but it's already got a pretty good built-in weapon. So I don't know.
Okay. I don't think there's any. There's a few kind of interesting things, different kind of thug kits.
Yeah. We can wait until it has an actual fight, but to sort of look at the full detail of what this army is ready to do. But
I do like a lot of things. I think just the chaff. I mean, there's more infantry, but there's also more chaff with the long dead. I think that's great for drawing aggro, like from the storm demons and different sorts of things off of your Ulmish guys. So that's nice to see. I think it's going to be interesting, of course, what battlefield spells go up. And I have really no idea what we're going to see, but
yeah,
presumably we're going to get an epic fight at the start of next episode.
I don't think the fort is cracked.
Go ahead.
So I don't think the fort is cracked yet. I think it might be a few more turns before the storming of Pyrene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this looks like a 7. I mean, it should be cracked next turn, depending how big the army inside is. But
yeah, I think you're right.
But he might wait a turn and ping. I mean, with an army this big, I would not storm right away. Like for the penultimate fight, I would definitely ping. See what I'm dealing with. Though every turn you ping, it's more gems and air elementals and storm demons and stuff.
Yeah, and we've talked about how
okay,
feels a little bit like he's on the clock. We should look underground at glowing caverns because that's actually
important. I'll look at that in a second. This looks kind of interesting.
Oh, sure.
Slow moving heavy infantry versus PD and some storm demons. You guys are right to try to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
All right. What were you saying? Glowing caverns.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that party you just saw is what the Zots were hunting. If you land on the storm demons and hit them with clubs, it's okay.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of behemoths here. I mean, you lose this, right? You must. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the main thing is that we'd sent that sort of party down through our lake to try to retake our cave, and we run into that army. And I actually come up with a scheme at this point, which is that he has a very predictable set of moves that he's going to move, take that next cave, and then move into that lake. And if you look at the composition of that army, because it went underwater, it only has one non-mindless unit in it, or maybe two. I think the Carrion Lords, 3, yeah, Carrion Commander and 2 Carrion Lords. So having gotten sort of drunk on power from our Carrion Lord that we stole previously, we are plotting a trap in that lake where there will suddenly appear a bunch of water elementals and an enslaved minecaster. So that's still a couple turns away, but I think if you look above ground, you'll see a bunch of stuff. Like if you click on that cave entrance, you'll see a bunch of stuff marshaling with that purpose.
Okay, well, that's very cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that's making lemonade out of lemons here, because when you see this asphodel army show up here, it's like, oh god, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep them from coming back and taking this stuff when it's all gated by going underwater, so you can't really move a big army. Very cool. Okay, and this little trap you did was successful. Didn't lose anything, only ran into PD. And you've knocked into this fort, but you did not successfully one turn pop it. So presumably that'll be for next turn and for next episode.
Yep.
Yeah,
What,
we were really hoping to pop Silverhand there so that we could storm at the same turn the main army moved in, but I think we miscalculated.
Yep.
Are you guys putting a trap here? Because I think... Oh, you're not. Just Magic Duel. I think this would be a great place to put a trap this turn if y'all had it, like a Firestorm trap or something.
Yeah.
But because he probably needs to ride out with at least 500 guys, right?
Yeah, he's probably going to ride out with some stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're mostly considering the chaff to be irrelevant, and all that matters is the big forces. One thing you can see is he's been being actually very aggressive with raiding. All of these surrounding provinces have like 50 carrion beasts and starting to use a bunch of the big ones. So he is definitely not being passive in trying to control territory. And I really like that, because one of the things with Asphodel is, like, at a certain point, 2,000 mannequins doesn't do anything more than 1,000 mannequins, but a bunch of parties of 200 might be able to catch some weaker forces and kill them. So,
yeah. I think the exception there is if you're doing a fatigue play, oftentimes you have to spend like the first 500 just to start timing out the battle. But
yeah. If you have a fatigue play that is not countered by a faster battlefield wipe. The one other thing we should take a look at.
Well, cool. Oh, go ahead.
You don't need to watch the battles; they're pretty quick. But Nidavangar took the 2 forts up on the border, but they took a throne off Asphodel. They're very boring fights because there's nothing inside, so it's just you know, Taff and Nid bathed walking through things. And cool.
Okay. Well, cool. But next episode should be fun. Hopefully we get to see the big Ulm Pyrene fight. That's what I'm really excited for. And then we probably get Asphodel's last hurrah kind of around this throne, because they're certainly not going to want to lose Mother Oak again. And that army is probably going to be coming out and playing in the next 3 or 4 turns, maybe even next turn. So that'll be exciting. And then what else do we have to look forward to? Another attempt on Marignon?
There, I believe, will be additional fighting near Marignon. I think, yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think even the Marignon army may even ride out from that secondary fort and try and relieve Marignon. So.
Yeah. I approve. Ride out with me. I forget how the Lord of the Rings line goes, but
yeah.
On the morning of the 4th day, ride out.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for helping show this game, everybody on the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.